Helping students realize their learning norm. 10 expectations of students for schools. Module 10, Sarah Von Felt. The first one is relationships. Students need to have relationships not only with their peers, but also with their teachers. I know this is one of the most important things that I do with my students. I like to know about them and their talents. I like to know about their interests and what they like to do outside of the class. Relevance. How does the learning contribute to the community and world? To what they're learning in school, is it relevant to their interests outside of school? Time. Is it always paced by the teacher, or do they have their own pace? Do we give them deep learning as well as broad learning? Do they learn at the same sequence, or is it their learning style and their interests? Play. Do they always have to perform in the class, or do they get times to explore and time to make mistakes and to grow without being handed as a failure? I like doing this in my stream activities. I like to have them set their own pace, and I also like them to explore instead of me always giving them a set of rules to follow. Practice. Do they always learn and move on? Or do they get time to engage in the deep practice it takes for that skill to learn it? When I'm teaching my science classes, I always like to give them time to explore if we're doing magnets, or if we're doing electricity, or if we're doing a book report. Do they get time to work with it? Choice. Do they follow the path as all the students, or do they get a choice in what and when to demonstrate their abilities? I also like to do this with my book reports. I like to give them a choice on how they're going to present it. And also with some of my projects in social studies and in science. Authenticity. Is the learning significant outside of school? Do their families get to participate in it, or do they get to show their families? Do they get to show experts what they are learning in the school? And also, do they get to show in their employers or the community what we are doing in class? Challenge. Is it just about completing the assignment, or are they challenged addressing high and meaningful standards? An application. Is all the learning all theoretical, or do they get to apply it in real-world situations? We do an activity here at school called Ameritown, where our students learn about how to take care of a business. And then through Gen X, which is our Next Tech company that deals with our internet, they get to go to a place where they actually get to run a business. And they are applying what they learn in school in math and in management and in work employee, how to apply it in a real world situation. And I found this quote by Benjamin Franklin that I thought was very applicable to this. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Listed are a couple of my references, especially the quote that I just did. My standard: correlation, reflect on, communicate about, cultivate, and model professional dispositions and norms, i.e. fairness, integrity, transparency, trust, digital citizenship, collaboration, perseverance, reflection, lifelong learning that support the educational success and well-being of each student and adult. Relevant. This module is relevant because it helps teachers, administrators, and any adult that deals with students learn what students want to be taught. They want to make sure that what they are learning has a significance in the real world application and not just busy work. Reflection. I will definitely use this information when I am addressing my teachers next year at our beginning of the year in-service. I believe that all teachers need to be reminded how students feel about what and how they are being taught. Thank you for listening to my presentation.